Many people could look at you and go, well, you seem to have a lot of confidence, that you've always had confidence, that you've never struggled with confidence. How have you built your confidence over the years? And for those who sometimes people struggle to feel confident in the decisions they make and they're not sure about themselves and what to do, what have you learnt about confidence?
I've learned that I don't have as much as people think I have. You know, you get confidence by doing and learning and making mistakes and fixing your mistakes and by hedging your bets if you're going to make a decision. What's the downside and how do I protect myself from the downside? When we built the Marquee in New York, I said we've got to hedge our bet. We've got to put in enough meeting space so that if things really don't work out here, I can do meetings business and probably run 70% occupancy. So you really have to know what you're doing. Do your homework. Be prepared. If you're prepared and you work hard, you'll be great. You know, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I think that's very important. And also recognize that success is never final. You know, that's what I thought about on Starwood. We were a very, very comfortable company. We were cranking out billions of dollars a year in cash flow, buying a lot of stock back, and why disrupt that with this big acquisition, this integration that's going to have to take place? And I thought, you know, because we were successful and we were resting on our laurels, success is never final. We had to take that leap. And so you have confidence if you know what you're doing, you've done your homework, and you really have studied the matter and deep dived in it. You know, my father decided, I think, early on that I needed to build some self-confidence. And so the way he did it was by never answering a question. I'd go into him, I'd say, I've got this problem. And he'd ask me questions and say, well, have you looked at this, have you looked at that? And then he'd give me the advice he always gave me, which was no. You can't do this, you don't know what you're doing, this kind of stuff. And finally, one day, I went into him with a really serious problem. I thought it was serious. And I laid it out to him, and he just gave me the old answer again, no. And he saw I was visibly upset. And so he came into my office about a half an hour later, and he sat down across from me on this. He says, here are the 5 things you need to do, A, B, C, D, E. He knew exactly what the answers were, but he wouldn't give them to me. Because he said, you need to wrestle, he said in his own mind, you need to wrestle these problems to the ground, figure out what to do, otherwise you're never going to grow and learn. So it was a really interesting experience for me.